Howdy, y'all. Welcome back to the Den DBZ All-Star. I'm DBZ All-Star, or Steve if you prefer, and I've got another one of those little shaky cam style videos. Sorry. You know what to expect at this point if you're watching these local comic book store hauls. Maybe at some point I'll transition over to the other style of video I've been utilizing the past few months. But for now, this is kind of casual, kind of fun, and it's an evolving process. So these releases are I want to say the past 2.5, 3-ish weeks, because I just filmed the mid-September to mid-ish October video. The latest releases in this haul come from this past Wednesday, which was the 6th of November, and I'm, as I said, evolving the style as we go along. And the reason why it's evolved this time is because I really enjoyed having some highlights in the previous video. So we're going to start off with the books that didn't make the highlights. Doesn't mean they're lesser than books, but we're going to start off that way, and I'll get into the reasons why it was so hard for me to just select a few. So starting off, again, the local comic book store I picked this up from is known as Titan Moon Comics. It's in the Austin area. Stellar service, stellar people working there, stellar selection. I highly recommend it. So we have Chasm, The Curse of Cain, issue 3. This is the variant cover featuring Chasm fighting the original Scarlet Spider on the cover. What's that about? Well, this series has been interesting, mixing a little bit of the internals, Spider-Man, some other aspects into it. Started off strong. It's been okay. I feel like Chasm, if you don't know who that is, I'm not going to spoil it for you, gets screwed over in the writing. So I was hoping this would be a change. Maybe next writer. I'm going to finish off the series, but I had to snag this cover because I love the original Scarlet Spider costume, and this is featured on the cover. Next up, we have Dazzler. This is issue 2 of, I believe, 4, continuing the From the Ashes series, featuring Strong Guy, Dazzler, and Domino in this wonderful limited series on this stellar Dodson cover. We have Ultimate X-Men, issue 8. Peach Momoko writing, drawing, continuing her slow burn epic. And the connecting cover, homage cover, whatever you want to call it, because when they all connect between the Ultimate titles that are participating in this is for issue 8, by the way, it's going to be an homage to X-Men, adjectiveless X-Men rather, from the 90s. That long cover. Moving on to the independent series, we've got Kelly Thompson's Black Cloak. Continuing, this is issue 9. We have Conan the Barbarian by Jim Zub, released by Titan Comics, no association to Titan Moon Comics, and Heroic Signatures. Jim Zub just kicking a lot of butt, closing out the latest arc. Conan the Barbarian, Battle of the Black Stone, first limited event series. One more issue to go. Gargoyle's Quest, finally returning with issue 4. I believe we haven't had an issue since the summer, so hopefully this continues. The next solicited book is the Holiday Special, which is supposed to come out in December. We'll see. Dan Waters closing out Destro, which was a limited series through Image Comics Skybound Entertainment imprint, with its own imprint in the Energon universe. This is issue 5. This is The Moon is Following, Daniel Warren Johnson, Mike Spicer on the colors again, Riley Rossmo. This is the second printing of issue 1, and brand new issue 2. Power Fantasy, Kieran Gillen on there, Casper, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that last name, but this is issue 3. Series has been a lot of fun so far. Saga, Fiona Staples, Brian K. Vaughan, Chapter 70, delayed again, haven't read it yet. Hopefully it's continuing to be worth the delays. I do still love it, it's just not at the top of my pile anymore. Thundercats Chitara, issue 4 of, I believe, 5, standard cover, and the lyrics cover. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Again, for issue 4. Finally, Void Rivals issue 13, featuring a fan favorite G.I. Joe character. Will she appear inside? I don't know. And moving on to the DC comics that didn't make the highlights. We have Absolute Batman. This is issue 1. This is the second printing. Inside there you have the Darkseid Justice League membership card and the blank Justice League membership card. Batman issue 154. Chip Zdarsky continuing his final arc. And Batman Superman World's Finest. This is issue 32. Starting its tenure in the DC All-In. So let's move on to the highlights and talk a little bit about why it was so difficult to choose this time around. Starting with the independents, we have The Walking Dead Deluxe, issue 99. And somewhere in here, I believe, there we go. The Walking Dead Deluxe, issue 100, featuring the Charlie Adlard cover. So these were made highlights due to the fact that, once again, The Walking Dead has reached issue 100. These are reprinted versions of the original series, now in color. For those of you who read issue 100 when it was released 12 years ago at this point, the same year Saga began to be published, something major happens. There's a major character introduction. There's a major character death. There's violence. There's gore. Hot emotions that go into this book. I had to highlight it because even though it's been published before, this is a new version, and any title reaching issue 100 is something to celebrate. So, yeah, that's all I really have to say about that without delving into spoilers. Moving on, we are celebrating the 5th anniversary, the 5-year anniversary of Something is Killing the Children from Boom Studios, James Tynion IV. We have the standard cover, had to have that. We have the Jenny Frison cover, who also did one of the variant covers for the very first issue. This is issue 0, by the way, showcasing what Erica Slaughter was doing right before the series started. And as a special commemoration, they released these grab bag style covers. They're calling them Erica Slaughter Intermix variant covers. And you can get one of these three covers here. These are polybagged because they're mystery covers. They're $6.99 each. And I picked up 2 at the suggestion of one of my buddies at Titan Moon Comics, who was also participating and was hoping to get the chainsaw cover. So I'll be doing a separate video, maybe a full-length video, maybe a short, showcasing what I get in these 2. So that's what I have for you for the independents. I just really wanted to celebrate the fact that we've reached some milestones for these 2 independent series here. So let's move on to Marvel, because I've got a lot to talk about with DC. Alright, so we have the Amazing Spider-Man, issue 60, also known as Legacy, issue 954. This is the finale for Zeb Wells and John Romita Jr. Now, Steve, you've not been a fan of this series. Why is this a highlight? Because it is the end of this controversial run. So I'm ready for the next stage, which includes Joe Kelly and Ed McGuinness and other artists dealing with the new Sorcerer Supreme in a storyline called The 8 Deaths of Spider-Man. So I'm glad this era is being closed out. We're moving on to the next one. No offense, Mr. Wells. This was not my cup of tea. Were there highlights? Yes. But overall, I would rate this behind the Nick Spencer run in terms of overall quality. Now, is that Nick Lowe's fault? I don't know. But Wells has even recently written better runs, such as the Krakoa era Hellion series. So I'm glad to see this come to an end. Next, we have Ultimate Spider-Man, issue 10. And there is the variant cover. This is always going to be a highlight for me, even when there's a guest artist, because this series has been a lot of fun. It's proven its value. It proves it deserves to be here. And the twists and turns have been really interesting. Can't really say much more about it without delving into spoilers. Another big surprise from this Ultimate line from Marvel is the Ultimates, because Camp has been kicking all kinds of ass, taking all kinds of names. The original Ultimates is a product of its time by Mark Miller, Brian Hitch. I still look back on it favorably to a certain extent, but this is taking it to a whole new level. You've got the new Ultimate Hulk here holding Iron Lad's helm. What does that mean? Read to find out. We have the Lionel U wraparound cover. We have the connecting cover. And we have the Lee cover featuring a TO'd Ultimate Hulk. Just a stellar book. The first trade paperback should be out shortly. And yeah, if you haven't checked it out, if you're sleeping on it, definitely pick it up in trade paperback in collected edition form whenever it suits your needs. Let's move on to DC, because there's a lot of DC. All right, starting off, continuing what Jeff Johns set up in Justice Society of America as part of the new Golden Age. We have Jeff Lemire taking over, launching the title with a new #1. JSA, part of the DC All-In initiative, dealing with the old-timers in the JSA, the newcomers, what's going on, how will this team supplant itself as an important part of the DC universe going forward. Read to check it out. This is the connecting variant cover featuring some of the older cast members. Issue 2 will have a connecting cover featuring more characters. Closing out his run on Green Arrow. This is Legacy 350, current volume issue 17. Joshua Williamson on it before the new writer takes over. And the annual for 2024. Fully closing out. Green Arrow, since the relaunch, has been a real highlight for me. It's brought back Oliver, brought back his family members, and really the Arrow book should be about family and legacy. That's what it has been about so far. I hope that continues. Nightwing, closing out this era and starting a new one. We have Tom Taylor, Bruno Redondo closing out with issue 118, finale of Fallen Grayson. We have the Nicholas Scott homage cover featuring multiple versions of Nightwing and highlighting his assets, because you can't seem to avoid that with Nightwing. And Dan Waters, Dexter Soy, starting the new era of Nightwing as part of the DC All-In initiative. Look forward to continuing Dick Grayson's adventures in this new era. Let's move on to the next stack. So, honestly, it's been a while since we've had a Batgirl book. We had the short-lived Batgirl series, but I don't consider that a Batgirl book. That was more of a buddy series. This is Batgirl issue 1, featuring Cassandra Cain. And having read this feels like a return to form for the early 2000 series before the Stephanie Brown series by Brian Q. Miller, which is highly underrated, before Gail Simone relaunched during the New 52 era with Barbara Gordon as Batgirl again. This, if you love Cassandra Cain, if you love this version of Batgirl, this series so far is priced at $3.99 per issue, which is $1 less than some of the other comics out there. Go check it out. It's got beautiful art, highlights the relationships Cassandra Cain has with some people, and there's some interesting prospects on the horizon for this series. Really good so far. Part of the Absolute initiative from DC Comics. We have Absolute Superman, issue 1. Jason Aaron, Rafa Sandoval. This is the standard cover, and the Jim Lee variant cover. This is all about Kal-El, Superman, in this new era, on this new world, dealing with how this universe was created. How was it? Check out DC All-In to find out what happened, how this universe is different, We're still unraveling that, but partners with Absolute Batman in the same continuity, and another comic, which I'm about to show you, which is Absolute Wonder Woman by Kelly Thompson, Hayden Sherman on art, and Jordi Belair on colors. There's the standard cover, it's the Jim Lee cover, and let me tell you, Kelly Thompson really was meant to write this book. This Diana is unlike anything we've seen so far. She's fierce. She has compassion despite her upbringing in this series, despite being on this world. And I cannot wait to see where this is going. The Absolute Universe for DC, the Ultimate Universe for Marvel, they've been must-reads month in, month out. And we've got Absolute Green Lantern featuring Joe of the Far Sector story. We've got Absolute Martian Manhunter, and we've got Absolute Flash on the horizon. So I'm looking forward to those as well. So that's what I have for the highlights, and hopefully you can see why it was so difficult for me to pick just a few, because there's so many stellar titles that have come out since my last haul video. So give me 1 second. And there's each of the stacks as they stand. Pretty decent haul. It's about 30-ish comics. And let me tell you, Type Moon Comics takes great care of their customers. I mean, I got some cards despite not being there to pick up day one. That's pretty stellar. This week, I might stop in again because issue 61 of Amazing Spider-Man is coming out. I believe issue 2 of Absolute Batman is coming out. I might have to make it a more regular thing. Life just gets busy. But thanks for watching this. Please tell me what are highlights for you, what you would like me to do with these videos to improve them, to have more fun with them. But in the meantime, please stay healthy, stay safe, absolutely be your ultimate self, and have a wonderful weekend or day.